Hey Derek, I got your helmet here for you. Sort of a helmet mask type of combo. Um, as you can see, really happy with how this thing came out. I think it looks really nice. The pictures sort of varied in the exact color of it, so I went with a gold with a black wash, which with all the lights on, it's a little hard to see, but essentially, instead of directly painting black, it just gives it sort of a worn and weathered look, especially in the many cracks and crevices that are on here, as would happen naturally. So that should closely match some of those photos that you sent. Let's see what it looks like on. You and I have the same head circumference, so I did scale this based on that, but the model, based on the video game, doesn't really take into account real life when they make those models, because the shape of this helmet is much narrower at the bottom than at the top. So normally, in order to have this as one piece, you'd have to make that narrow bottom part as wide as the widest part of your head, and that changes the rest of it to be very large. So I came up with something which I've never done before, actually. Usually I use a magnet mount, basic magnet mount system, but with this, you could see from when you're just looking at it, it looks like one piece, but it is actually two. That there's a series of elastic bands in here, which are both holding it together and holding it in line here. So it's, some of these are pulling it up and some are pulling it down, so it levels out right there, and you don't have this very visible crease. There's also magnets, kind of hard to show on camera, but there are magnets in here as well to help with that. See right there, one of them to help with that alignment. But as you can see, it's very sturdy, but it allows you to create just a little bit of extra space there. And also, if someone, wants to try this on and they have a bit of a bigger head, it'll provide a little extra space just for the time being. But you can pull that out a little bit, get your head in there, and then it shuts. Pull it, take it off. You can also just sort of push your head in and it'll naturally move out of the way, but whatever you prefer to do doesn't really matter as much there. So I have this for you, and then hold on, I got your foam inserts. Okay, I thought I had them with me. So these are the foam inserts that I have pre-cut for you, and I include with all my helmets. That's what I personally use. You can attach them with hot glue, super glue, whatever you have, but I don't think a helmet like this is going to require very many of them, especially since it's scaled to your head circumference, and it's quite smooth on the inside, so for comfort, not really necessary. But if you wanted to inlay some under the eye here, or back of the head, or the sides, you have these just to make it completely snug once it's on. Wiggle it around. If there's extra space, you can layer one of these in or layer multiple on top of each other to fill more of a gap, but make small adjustments. It's easier to go up than down in terms of layering these. And then these are two different thicknesses as well, so if you have to make bigger adjustments, you could do that. But I'll include these in the package for you. Since I don't have your head here, I can't make those minute adjustments, but like I said, I think this one will require very few of them. So if you have any other questions or concerns, just let me know, and thanks, man.